Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. I'm your host, Jeremy White, and here we are once again talking Niagara sports with you, our weekly installment to catch you up on everything that's going on campus and with the program as well. We're going to start things off with the runners and fans of runners because, well, cross country and track, they're not the same thing, but a big announcement for the university, a women's track program being introduced 2013-2014, the first year of competition, and rather than talk track, we're going to talk cross country, which I've just learned actually they're two different things, and head coach Hadara Katarski is here, so thanks for being here first off.
Thank
you.
And
what's the difference between track and cross country? That may be a stupid question, but I didn't know until right now.
No, you're not the only one. Cross country is all distance running. So the women run a certain distance, the men run a certain distance. Women run between 5K and 6K. Men run either 8K or 10K. Most courses are out somewhere where you're going around woods, trails. Track is just on the track with all the other events. So you have the sprinters, you have throws, you have jumps, you have all of that.
So it's simple as saying track is the one that takes place around the track. So
yes.
I can remember that easily.
Yes.
And track and field and everything. So the program's coming together. You're going to have a women's program for track. Will that help you in cross country? I would think that, I don't want to say runners are runners, but is that the case?
Absolutely. You know, many high school runners are doing cross country and track, and they may want to continue that in college. I know for me, when I was going into school, I really would not have gone somewhere if there wasn't a track team also. Competitive runners like to run all year long, and to be honest, to stay in shape, to be able to do what they do, you have to. But also, it would definitely help recruiting. I think it'll make both teams stronger because you're competing twice in the year instead of once. So I think both will be better because of it.
Well, this is your first season on campus. Started off as an assistant, now head coach of the cross country team. So take us a little bit through the journey that got you to Niagara, got you here.
It's interesting. It was rather unexpected. I was sitting in my office one day in August in Pittsburgh at the former institution I was at, and I got a call that they needed an assistant coach here. Well, my husband, Mark, who is with the women's basketball program, was already here. So it was one of those situations where I said, well, I had planned to stay at Chatham University through the fall season and coach our cross-country team, but I could move here, live in the same state as my husband, and get involved in a little bigger time sports, Division I, which was something I had been looking to do. So I went for it.
So a no-brainer.
Pretty much, and 2 weeks later, the house was packed up and I was here.
Well, your resume that you bring here, take us through the career, the collegiate career, because a cross-country career that you had was a very successful one.
Thank you. I actually was more of a track runner when I started, and I went to a small Division III school, a highly academic school, and I only ran track there because I thought that's what I wanted to do. I was a short distance runner. I transferred to University of Colorado, which is a mecca for distance running. Long-standing tradition of some great cross-country runners, runners on the national and world scene. And I was informed there very early on that if you want to run track, you will run cross-country. And I had done that, in high school, but I very quickly had a newfound appreciation of the sport, just what I was surrounded by, what that sport has to offer, and the caliber of athletes and coaches that I was surrounded by. What
is it about Colorado that makes it the mecca of cross country, or of track, of running? Is it the altitude? Is it the terrain that makes you, does that automatically make you a better runner?
The altitude at first makes you not so much a better runner, but actually a struggling runner. It's much harder to run altitude until you get used to it. That said, when you train altitude and then come back to sea level, usually running a ton faster because you can breathe easier. You don't have that altitude. But I think just the tradition there, the terrain is a big part of it. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's sunny all the time, and people want to be out and running. And the university has a big tradition there, and so that helps, I think especially the entire city of Boulder at least.
Well, from Colorado to Chatham College as a cross-country coach and building a program for the first time. So what did you get out of that? Because it's one thing to come into a program that's established, but how about to build one?
Right. It was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge. And I had been an assistant at a Division III school before coming there, and I worked for a great coach, and I've had great coaches. So I had a lot to use, but we started from nothing, and we had half of the team that had never run cross country before coming to our team at Chatham University. So I tend to think that if I could make a team out of that, we could do it anywhere. But it was also very rewarding because there's nowhere to go but up when you're in that situation.
Well, what is it that you're hoping to bring to Niagara? Your experiences both at a big-time program in college and then at a small-time program, obviously, as a coach. So how do you make it all work, and what do you bring here?
You know, I think I have the best of both worlds as far as the experience, because I can understand from being both a student athlete and a coach in both types of programs what it takes, and I really hope to instill, you know, how you get to be a full athlete. Being a cross-country runner is not just about going out for a run and running from A to B and that's it, you're done. There's so much more that goes into it, and some of those aspects I think young runners don't even realize. You know, from the psychological side to a strength training side to just how healthy and how you're living. And so I hope that I can make some kind of impact, and I hope that these athletes can have an experience that they're going to look back upon and say, you know, that was the best experience, the best team I've ever been a part of.
We're going to talk to Eddie Maloney coming up next segment. So what is it about Eddie specifically, you know, balancing a schedule and also being a leader? Because I think people that might not know the sport might not know what being a leader is in this sport.
You know, and he's someone who stands out naturally as a leader, and he is one of the busiest student athletes I've ever met. Being involved with ROTC and the physical demands of that, is on top of being a student, and the physical demands of what we do, everybody has a tremendous amount of respect for him, and you think twice before you say the words "I'm tired" when Eddie is around, because he, if anyone can ever say they're tired, he's the one that can say that.
The master motivator. We'll talk to him next.
Yes.
Thanks very much for being here, and best of luck this year.
Thank you.
All right, we continue with cross country when we return here on Purple Eagles Weekly.